Hey, I wanted to talk about two major issues that pretty much all trans people have to deal with while going through their transition, and those are the questions to forget the past or not, the past as the wrong gender, and also asking who you're gonna be, who I'm gonna be, what man am I gonna be. Those are some two big questions because they affect pretty much everything. Um, they're they're pretty common issues for trans people across the board. I don't know. I couldn't think of any trans people that I know that haven't asked those two questions to themselves. So, I've been thinking about the whole forgetting my past or not thing. I was just thinking about all the inside jokes I have and like all the pictures I've been in, all of the things I've enjoyed. I have a bunch of marching band pictures, I have a bunch of soccer pictures and stuff, and it's all with long hair and whatnot. And I have to ask myself, what do I want to do with these pictures? I mean, I already deleted pretty much all the long haired pictures. And pictures that in the comments refer to me by my other name. I've taken all those pictures off of my Facebook. They still exist on Facebook. I just took all the tags off so they don't show up in my timeline. So things like that I have to deal with, and also referring. There's some things that like my sister and I will talk about that has to do with my past, like old jokes, and they have to do with gender, so my sister and I were laughing something about that my grandma said, and she was telling the story to people who didn't know. They just knew me as Andrew, they didn't know me as Megan, so they had no idea. And then she was talking about the story, and while quoting my grandma, she said, "Girls, blah, 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 blah." And that was in reference to me as a kid, so I have to worry about things like that. And, just how the genderedness of the past will come up and how I'm gonna deal with that, and also if I want to tell everybody I know that I've known before transition, should I tell them forget everything, delete all the pictures? What do I tell people? I have to deal with that, and also I have a bunch of pictures that my parents have, like pictures of Girl Scout this and girl soccer that and long hair me, in the past, and things with my old name on it and all that stuff. There's 18 years worth of pictures like that. So there are only like 2 years in all that I think I had short hair that we can keep the pictures from and display them in wherever, like in the house. If I were to bring a guest over who didn't know that about my trans status, I wouldn't want to put like a long-haired picture out there because it'd be kind of, I don't want to out myself, of course. I don't want my pictures to out me. I mean, eventually I might out myself, but I want it to be my decision and not some random badly placed pictures decision. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm thinking about, should I embrace my past and then probably have to come out all the time when people start asking questions who didn't know me before transition, or should I just try to cover all my tracks, That's quite the question to ask. Also, the question of who am I going to be, who am I going to grow into? I mean, I have the choice. I didn't go through like a sort of normal boyhood, the normal coming of age when you're like 11, and then everybody's like, well, you have to act like a man now, and like you start going through puberty or whatever, and then there's like all these expectations, like the man expectations placed on you. I never had to go through that, so I guess any normal feminine aspects of my personality I didn't have to suppress them. They were encouraged because people saw me as a girl, of course, so what would be discouraged for me as a man was encouraged for me as a woman. So I don't have any like I guess defense mechanisms. I don't know what the term is. I don't have any like weird mind hula hoops in place to hula hoops. I don't know, hoops to jump through in place to like, I don't know, you know the way personality works. You hide parts of yourself because you're not manly enough or you're not feminine enough or whatever. Those sorts of things. But my question for myself is my current personality a mask? Should I ditch who I am now and like sort of have a clean slate? Because I'm not sure. Is who I am now, did I develop this personality as a coping mechanism to deal with not being who I wanted to be, to deal with being a complete opposite gender, the one that wasn't comfortable for me at all. So who I am now is so distant from who I've always imagined myself to be, who I was in my head. But I can't seem to, there's some sort of issue. I can't like really express myself. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say. I don't know what to think of who I am now. And there's also the dealing with people I know now who knew me before I started transition. And there's it creates a very weird social context when people know my past. Like I want to be able to make friends, make some new friends that don't know anything about who I used to be. So I want to have a very natural experience, about figuring out who I am, because just like in anybody's case, when you're friends with somebody for a while, there's like there's a context that they place everything you do in, so like you can't escape who you used to be, or you can sort of, but there's always like that, oh, you used to be this, so like I just want a clean slate. So that's just two things I've been thinking about. So I really think I'm gonna need to grow. I need space to grow. So I'm not gonna cut off contact with anybody, but I'm just gonna, make an effort to hang out with certain people less. Well, not like make an effort to hang out with them less specifically, but make an effort to make a greater percentage of my social time with new people. Want to meet some new folks, people who don't have any, who only see me for who I am now, so that I can take a breath of fresh air and figure out who I really am, and figure out what parts of my personality are really me and what parts I developed just to deal with whatever anxiety that I had throughout my life. I mean, it sounds kind of shitty, I don't want to snub anybody for, I don't dislike you guys, I don't want to shut you out, I don't want to shut anybody out specifically, but, everybody changes in puberty. Like, your friends when you were 10 were not the same people you were friends with when you were 14, and people you were friends with at 14, you might have moved to a totally different social group 4 years after that. So, of course, the way the social dynamics of everything are changing. So the way I experience the world is changing. The way I see myself is changing. So a lot of social stuff is going to change. It's bad and good. It's kind of like, shoot, I'm losing something, but also I'm gaining something so much better. So, yeah, that's kind of necessary. It's not all fun and games, but it's not completely horrible. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I just wanted to express those few thoughts. Thank you for watching.